Hello, and in this course I would like to talk about how our syllabus ties in with our teamwork and individual work on our collaborative course. So this is our course, Intercultural Awareness course. And let's go into About Us, where we've uploaded the syllabus. Audience is B1 adults, 5-week course. Objectives are shown here. We broke that into weeks. And we described how we would work together and the type of activities we would like to do. And then we built the activities, welcome, brainstorming, warm-up, week 1 by Zara. What is intercultural awareness? Week 2 by Wilma, about the main differences between cultures. Using different kinds of activities, videos. Oksana talking about cultural biases and stereotypes. Again, with the various different kinds of activities. And I'd like to explain in more detail the kind of activities that I used in my topic, which was how to communicate effectively in different settings. Now, I restricted all the activities so that the students have to do the activity before it. The first one is a chat forum, cultural relativism. I'd like the students to please write what they think about this definition. Respond to other people. I used chat forum because I wanted it to be dynamic interaction. Then Hofstede's key concepts. I uploaded this video.
Hello there, Eric here, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about culture, namely cultural differences between nationalities, but this can also be applied to culture within corporations, culture in leadership, and culture just in between groups of people.
Okay, so he goes on to compare Japanese and American culture, highlighting the 6 cultural dimensions. For example, high and low context, or masculinity and femininity. And I wanted the students to find out what are the differences between these cultures. And I did this as an assignment. Now, next I wanted to make a project for the students to simulate communicating in various different contexts. So the first activity is a feedback activity. Are Hofstede's cultural dimensions useful? So I want the students to now imagine they're planning to go to Beijing on a business trip. Now, we said that the students are B1 level, adults. So I'm making up this scenario. I'm not sure if this matches all the other moderators' ideas are. So I would need to adjust it, especially if I knew where the students come from, a little bit about their background. I would need to tailor it appropriately. And I'd like the students here to answer these questions. Are Chinese people low or high context, individualist, collectivist, masculine or feminine? And how is this knowledge useful for you when you meet a Chinese person? And I think it's interesting to study Hofstede, interesting knowledge, but actually in interaction, when you meet someone, it kind of goes out the window, and you have to really deal with the interaction dynamically at the time and just respond to the other person and to the context. So that's what I want the students to realize. Then this is a journal entry activity. It's basically writing an email to your customer. You're going to plan this business trip to China. One partner is the Chinese business person. The other partner is themselves. So you have to email each other to make a meeting schedule. But reply and tell them that you're too busy. So often in textbooks it's just 1 or 2 emails. It's quite smooth, but in actual fact it's often quite messy, or it goes back and forward quite a few times trying to negotiate an appropriate schedule. So that's what I want them to do. And I would give them feedback on sentence, paragraph structure, as well as appropriateness. And ideally I would like them to do that by email, sending emails to each other, and then maybe just copy the email thread into their journal entry here. Next activity, try and move through these quickly. Talking to a travel agent. This time, I want to simulate this as realistically as possible. So we're going to listen to a Chinese travel agent, and I want to set up a question for the students. How do you get from the airport to downtown Beijing? This is from a textbook called Listening by Ian Badger, and it's authentic sounding audio file that I uploaded via Poodle. Let's listen.
If you want to go from the airport to the downtown, you can take the airport express. There are a lot of lines, and maybe one line will go to Xidan, and one line will go to Chaoyang, and a lot of places. So if your hotel is in Tiananmen, you can take the lines. You can take the lines between the airport to Xidan, and you can get down when the bus came to the Tiananmen station, and you can go to your hotel by taxi or by bus, by subway.
I would probably need to give the students a little bit more information. So tell them, for example, where their hotel is. and get the students to compare their answers with their partners to see how much they can understand. And I could add in the transcript as well after they've done that, so they could actually read it and check their answers themselves. So that was just an assignment task. Next, understanding phonology. This is raising awareness of L1 influenced phonetic changes. The Chinese sentence, let me try, was the best way to get you in to city centre. Sorry for my bad Chinese pronunciation or accent there. The simplified version is, what's the best way to get into the city centre? And I want the students to try and identify some patterns. For example, adding the Y in front of a vowel, dropping the T to get into dropping T's, was way. Maybe the B is not pronounced quite like this. Getting them to identify some patterns, then trying to make their own basic sentence and modify it into a Chinese sentence. They could do that in pair work as well. Okay, video conferencing. A typhoon has suddenly come, cancelling flights. I'd like them to Skype with their partner or another video conferencing tool, reschedule the meeting, and record this conference using Screenomatic, post their video as a new discussion item in the forum, comment on someone else's post. This is an activity about turn-taking and overlap. So turn-taking represents power dynamics, and this should be in line. I need to edit this. And basically the first transcript is showing that they're working for the same company, so that there is overlap. There's hesitations, there's response tokens, and it shows the speakers are equals because of this. In the second transcript, I wanted to show the managers didn't monopolize the conversation. The managers, there's hierarchy involved, there's managers and subordinates. So there is overlap, not so much back channeling and hesitations, showing respect and distance, but still natural turn taking. And C is more formal, round table style discussion. Managers here don't know each other. There is still some overlap, natural turn taking interaction. Now of course this really depends on the nationalities as well, and of course personal differences, but I want the students to think about turn taking, overlapping talk when they're talking to someone, to reflect on it. Small talk activity. What strategies can they use? Simulate going out for dinner. Try to record it, upload it, reflect on these items, how they could improve their small talk. Repeat the activity. Again, upload it. And then this is a questionnaire. Are they intelligible? The partner, do they clarify, self-repair, paraphrase? And finally, I would like them to upload an example of their work in this course to their ePortfolio page. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this course. Thank you.